Isabel. I have acquired a lot of decks over the last few years, and I have sold a few on, but I do know that I've got some that I am not working with, nor will probably ever work with, or that can go to new homes where they'll be loved, because I'd like to be able to bring more in, but not just keep adding more that I'm not using. Some of these decks are going to be decks that I've brought in and basically never used, and I think that says a lot to me. If a deck comes in and I get on and use it straight away, or I play it, get it out again, then I know that I like it. If it comes in, I have a flick through, and then it just kind of goes in a pile and I'm not drawn to it, then I kind of think, well, I'm not sure that's going to work for me. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. So this particular deck that I'm starting with is one that I've been meaning to share for ages. I think I've recorded a walkthrough more than once and then just never uploaded it. So, and I think when I did the walkthrough, I started to kind of regret a little bit buying this. This deck was a Kickstarter by a British artist. So this is a Kickstarter by Sarah Riley, and she has a website that's called Love Country UK. She does lots of illustration of sort of country-based animals from the UK. And the Wild Woodland, so this is the website here, Love Country UK. The Wild Woodland was an oracle that her first oracle project. I really love her artwork. It's all hand drawn and painted and then created into cards. So it's not AI, it's a UK based artist. So I decided to support. I also bought some of her other goods did I pre-order? No, it was definitely a Kickstarter. So I got a couple of little notebooks and a couple of pin badges from her. This Kickstarter came with a pin badge. So there's this gorgeous moon gazing hair pin badge, which I really like. I have a scarf that I'm collecting my pin badges on, so I will keep that. And the deck is lovely, but to be honest, I have flicked through it a couple of times and I'm not drawn to using it, and I have a couple of reservations about it. And I think I'm just being put off, and I don't know that I'm going to ever use it. So this is called the Wild Woodland Oracle. It's got this gorgeous embossed and raised silver. I don't know if you can see that. A silver writing on it. It's 50 cards, so it's a decent sized deck. It's a 2-part hard box. Here's a gorgeous picture of a hare with his little paws up in the front of the box. It has this lovely, on the outside, it says follow your own path. Listen to your inner guide. So if I can I'll try and show you. You can see on the box there, follow your own path, listen to your inner guide. So it's a really sturdy box. The cards are big, but not too big. The book is stuck in the box. In the bottom of the box, you've got that moon gazing hare again. It does have a guidebook. So the guidebook is a full colour picture card with some reflection and some discussion. And it is lovely. It is really nice. The cards are not alphabetical, but they are numbered, so that's not a problem. The numbers are in the book, the numbers are on the cards, so that works really well. So I can easily find them, and so the book just literally it tells you a bit about her, but it is literally the cards. There's a couple of spreads actually, I think. Talks about how to use them. It talks to you about the oracle, talks about connecting, and then it has a couple of spreads, 4-card spread, tree spread, which is a longer spread, and then it goes into the cards, and then you have the cards. So if I just get a tarot card, she says. I did some sorting the other day and now I've lost everything. So this is the a blank card from Three Trees Tarot deck. So this is a reasonably standard card. I'm going to turn it over and use the backs because they're coloured. So you can see it's probably just less than an inch wider and a touch taller. They're a lovely cardstock. They're a kind of matte, nice, smooth cardstock. They don't stick. Not gilded or edged, but not a problem. They're actually really quite a substantial, you know, thickness. One of the really lovely things is that in the right light, when you look closely, you can actually see the texture of the canvas that she's painted on. So you know that these are paintings that she's transferred. A couple of issues, I suppose. I'm not a big fan of the name of the deck being put on the back. Don't know why. It's just one of those weird things. It has got this lovely foiling. It isn't reversible, but don't tend to use reversible with Oracle decks, so that's not a huge issue. Oh, excuse me, having a bit of a yawn. So it's got this lovely hair on the back, so it is a pretty back. I'm just not sure about the writing on it. I know other people have said it's a bit of one of those, isn't it? Doesn't make much difference, but you know. And then, yeah, so you've got 50 cards. So each card has a card number, it has a title, and then it's on the picture. And these are each individual paintings that she's done, and then she's either created them with the word in mind or chosen one of her pieces of artwork. And I think that might be the problem. I don't think some of them were created with those words in mind. And also, it's a little bit, I'm a bit of a... It's one of those, I like a card deck that has uniformity and consistency, and this deck doesn't. And I think there's a couple of places where perhaps there haven't been enough proofs done and the print or the font is a little bit out. And for most people, not a problem. For me, that presents an issue. Just to give a bit of context, I'll talk about that later, actually, ignore me. So, and I think that that's probably something that I'm not sure I can overcome, and that's why I've not picked it up. I'm also not sure how I'm going to use these individual keywords. I do like an Oracle deck with words, but I've realised that a lot of the words, I'm not sure what it's going to mean. I'm not sure what playfulness means in terms of myself. Let's just have a look in the book before we go any further, just to get an idea of what it talks about. So here it says playfulness. The fox is telling you to lighten up. It talks about when was the last time you broke free, embrace your inner child and had some fun. Talks about, you know, have you been pushing your heart so hard? Take time out to enjoy the pleasures in life. So it could be quite good. One of the big reasons for this deck, to be perfectly honest, is this second card. And that's the messages card. Robins hold, I hold robins very close, and the fact that robins come with messages is even more pertinent. Ever since I lost my mum, I've felt her close when I see robins, and particularly when they appear a particular. So I remember I was feeling particularly down. We went on an outing with my brother, and then there was a robin that just sat near us while we were having lunch. And some people talk about feathers, and also when robins are near, what is it? Your loved ones are near, when robins are near, your loved ones appear. Well, oh no, robins appear, your loved ones are near. That's right. It is something that's said. I don't know if it's what, you know, in other countries. And so this card in particular, I think, is what triggered me to press yes on the deck. And I adore this card. And the artwork is super gorgeous. I've not got it in too close, but I think it's the most beautiful illustration of a robin. I really do. Now, I have got this actually as a pin badge as part of the order. As I say, I bought a couple of other bits. And so I suppose in my head, I've got to make a decision. I'm not sure that I want to keep this deck. So I'll just show you where I'm a little bit coming from. So all of them have these paintings, but in a lot of cases I feel like this intrudes on the picture. So for example, here you lose some of the picture of the hair with the word in this great big white block. What then happens is that on the white pages they're grey, and okay, that's fine. And in these cases, the picture isn't intruded on, but I just feel when I go back, you know, that's not, the first two aren't too bad. But as soon as you look at that one, that is intruding on this gorgeous hair. And why would you do that? There are some really lovely keywords. Determination, I love that one. Sanctuary is an interesting one. I love the artwork in this one. And then she chooses to switch it up there, which makes sense. Okay, I've seen other decks that do that. It's not a massive issue, but I wish that she had done the same, going back to this damn card, in this card, but then she's got a B. So should she have shifted the art up so that it was more like this card where there's a blank space? And this is the thing, because she's used these artworks, you start to wonder about, you know, the consistency isn't there. The art is absolutely gorgeous. Some of the words really, I mean, that is absolutely, think of the moon in tarot. You've got intuition, renewal, but some of the strength, again, I'm a bit obsessed with Highland cows at the moment, so this says a lot to me. Power, again, slightly intruding on the artwork here. I'm not sure what else she could have done. That is a gorgeous card. Guidance. I'm beginning to... Anyone else get that thing where you start looking through thinking you're about to get rid of a deck and then realising that you just haven't worked with it enough? So the Wild Woodland Oracle, this is by Sarah Riley of Love Country UK. You see, now the other thing as well is, would you not have just put Journey on that one? Here's another slight issue, is that there is a lack of consistency. So can you see that all three of those appear to be different size fonts? The R there is smaller than that one, and that one's even smaller again. I think this is a printing error. I think this is a proof error. But it's bugged me ever so slightly. And is it something that I can ignore? I feel like some of it was a little bit... Sorry if I'm going off screen. I don't look at what I'm doing. I'm looking at the cards. Oh, this is so hard because the artwork and the messages are lovely. But again, you see, look, would you put it up there? It interferes with the moon. But I just feel like I've got a few... And why have you suddenly got a card that's grey? I don't get that. When these are white, you suddenly get this card that is just grey. I think what I'm probably getting to the point of is looking at her website and seeing if I can get artwork or note cards or something in the cards that I like, the pictures. So get these pictures from somewhere and use those in a different way. Oh, and look, so here's another one that really annoys me all the way through. It's either white or grey. That one's too small again, so the inconsistency's there. And then look, suddenly it's brown. I mean, what the heck? I just feel like there's some really poor decisions have been made. Yellow. In the proofing and the decision making in this, to be honest. And although I love the artwork, my concern is that within it there is too much that's annoying me. The other thing I've also wondered as well is that in some cases I feel like the art is like you've got meditation, intuition and something else that are all hairs and moons in different stages. And I don't get that one. You've got a pheasant and progress, but I'm like, it doesn't really say a lot to me. So it is a gorgeous little deck in the sense that one's green. It is a gorgeous deck from the art perspective. I do not deny that this lady's art is absolutely beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous art. However, as a deck, it has a lot of little niggles, and I'm not convinced that I want to keep it. I haven't really tried using it, and I'm not sure why. Do I run the risk of shuffling it and using it and seeing what happens and whether it hits home, or do I just let it go? Wonder what people think. Has anyone got this deck? Is anyone else a bit uncertain about it? Would any of those little kind of flaws or niggle other people? Do let me know what you think, because I'd be intrigued to know more from other people, perhaps. Yeah, I need to have a think about this one, but you know, there we go. So that's the first deck that's kind of vaguely possibly being get rid of, but I've not done a proper walkthrough. But that's the Wild Woodland Oracle, so I have now done a walkthrough of it. So that might have to go into my I need to think about it pile.